Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys that you definitely want to stick around for. So please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Today I got a pretty interesting video. I'm gonna keep the heat on some of these dudes right here. Nick Wright is a piece of work, man. Nick Wright is a piece of work. This guy. I cannot understand. You know, you got to be something to be covering sports, and the person you want to choose to hate on is the GOAT of that particular sport. You want to cover basketball, you want to be a Michael Jordan hater. Nick Wright is at it again, right? Yesterday on First Things First, they were asking a question because after Tom Brady retired. And by the way, yesterday on ESPN First Take, they had a segment with Stephen A. Smith, Mad Dog Russo, and a gentleman whose name I cannot remember, but they posted about a 20-minute segment of it on YouTube yesterday. And for the very first time, you got to hear some different views in the studio where people weren't twerking it up. And I think at one point they were saying that Tom Brady was the greatest football player of all time, and he said no, he's not. He's not the greatest regular season. And then he said Joe Montana, and Molly was like, oh, what? And then he began to explain himself. And then all of a sudden, Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog Russo were like, okay, you're making some good points. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're shouting and you don't even know what the hell this guy's about to say. It's like they already got their ideas programmed to say one thing, and the minute he says something else. So I like the fact that they got a different view in there yesterday. Now, I don't know football good enough, but what I enjoyed was that they had a different perspective out there where somebody can actually give their opinion and explain things. I think they had some real talk. And of course, I read through the comments. You had some LeBron fans in the comment section crying. ESPN is the LeBron James network. So you had some guys in there crying, this is totally disrespectful. This is a disrespectful segment. I can't believe what they're saying. This is so disrespectful. I'm like, y'all are... Anyway, so yesterday they were on there talking about the greatest athletes and all of... who's the greatest American athlete. I'm glad they left that out, American, because we're talking about globally. You got to mention Messi and Pele and all of these guys. So I'm glad they kept it to American. They didn't say in sports history globally. And, you know, various people giving their opinions. And then Nick Wright went out and started saying this nonsense about, oh, well, you know, it's some people that argue that LeBron could. Nobody be arguing that. So what we want to do is we want to play what he got to say, and then we're going to come back and react to it. Take a listen to that.
I think you've almost got to separate the individual sport athletes. So Serena, Ali, if we were to do like a Mount Rushmore of athletes, it gets very complicated. Like Usain Bolt, is he on there? I'm going to put those people in. I'm going to go team sport athletes. To me, Tom Brady has to, on American sports, this hurts, man. He has to be at the top. Because
all-time American sports, number one.
Yeah, because there is no debate about who the greatest in the history of his sport is. So I believe the greatest basketball player ever is LeBron James. You believe it's Michael Jordan. There is a case to be made that nobody makes, but it is a strong case to be made that is actually Kareem, particularly if you're going to include an entire basketball life, right? Because of what he did in high school, college, and then the pros. But there's strong arguments to be made for three different people in that sport. Baseball, I have no idea who the best player of all time is. I'm told it's Babe Ruth, but no one alive has ever seen him play. The numbers are unbelievable. But also, how do you do pitcher versus hitter, all of that stuff? Willie Mays pretty great. Barry Bonds, unbelievable. Saw him. There's a debate. There is no football debate. It's done. It's over. Now, maybe there will be one day, and that will change some things. But if we are talking about the greatest, if we were to do a Mount Rushmore of American team sport athletes, the only guy that you know has to be on there is Brady. Because if you're only going to put one NBA guy on there, then there's going to be an argument about who gets that spot. I know it's sacrilegious for some, but there's an argument there. And one of the guys in the argument is still playing. And so we'll see how it ends up for him. And maybe LeBron can catch Brady, but he's got to be at the top. Like, he's earned it.
Now, I've noticed that some LeBron fans, and I'm going to keep getting on y'all until y'all stop watching the channel or you stop crying in the comment section. I don't feel sorry for nobody that claims to hate somebody's content as much as they do, but yet I don't know how some of these dudes are subscribed. To this day, I don't know how some people that are not subscribed to the channel, the minute we put out a video, they're the first ones to comment, but I don't even see the subscription button under their, with their, I don't know how they do it, right? They're going to complain about our content. They be here every day. They'll be like, man, another LeBron video. I don't be seeing you under ESPN videos talking about another LeBron video. You know why? Because they up there saying exactly what you want. It got nothing to do with another LeBron video. It's another LeBron video of somebody giving a different viewpoint, and all of a sudden you got a problem with it. You're going to have to keep having a problem with it because it's our channel. If you don't like it, you can either go start your channel and bash me. We got some dudes out there doing that, or go somewhere else. But if you're going to be here complaining, you look like a bozo because you could actually leave. YouTube is a huge place. If you're going to be here, then stop complaining. Back to Nick Wright's point. Here's the reason why I got irked with Nick's point. Nick doesn't have a point. There is no argument. That's the whole point. That's what makes it annoying to other NBA fans. A case could be made. There's no case that can be made. There is not one single case that can be made. Not one. You can make a case for him being a top 5 NBA player. Sure. You can do that. You can do that. The same way you can make a case for Magic Johnson or Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant. You can make a case. But to make a case for him to be the GOAT, it means that you're saying that there's a case out there that exists that would say he's better than Jordan. What's the case? What is the thing that LeBron has done that is more impressive than what Michael Jordan has done? What's the thing? What's the thing? He's been playing for a longer period of time. So what? Who told him to keep playing? He's playing because he loves the game. Okay, so what? What's the thing? What's the thing that he did? He won more championships than him? No. He wasn't undefeated. First of all, how are we even having an argument about a guy that's undefeated in a championship? When the game mattered the most, in the most difficult moment, at the highest level of basketball, which is the NBA championship. Some people say, well, how do you know that? Because usually the 2 best teams from each conference, usually if they're the best teams, they're usually going to go to the finals. Usually barring injuries or something else. So in the biggest stage, he was the best ever, and he never lost. What argument we can just stop, we can end the video right there. Number one. So what argument are you talking about? Jordan dominated basketball in a way that no other NBA player has ever done it. It's not close. How has LeBron James dominated basketball? How? When did he dominate basketball? Do you realize LeBron has never even three-peated one time? How can you say you dominated a sport and you've never even three-peated one time? How? Jordan three-peated 2 times. There's only been 3 three-peats in the past 25 years or so. That's it, folks. No. What am I saying? Probably in the last 30 years. Only 3. They had 2 in the 90s, 1 in the early 2000s. When was the last three-peat you saw in the NBA? When was the last one you saw it? If LeBron is on Jordan's level, why hasn't he been able to three-peat not even one time? This is the stupidest argument in sports, but because you got a lot of people on TV that love to just be fanboys, they try to make it anyway, and they make it to an audience, to be quite frank with you, who I believe a lot of them are not that sharp. Because if you believe this is an argument, I got to question your reasoning abilities. I really have to. Because what information are you looking at that would make you think that? Okay, forget about he's better. If he's on his level, why hasn't he been able to three-peat one time? Why? LeBron has played with at least 50,000 All-Stars. 50. Why hasn't he been able to three-peat one time? One time. How was Michael Jordan at the age of 40 able to get the Wizards to a 37-45 record, and the Lakers are barely at 25 wins right now with a healthy Russell Westbrook on the roster? Help me understand this. How? There's nothing that LeBron has done that will make you think, oh, he's better. There's nothing. Jordan's team never lost more than 2 games from 1990 to 1998. What has LeBron done? Number one. Number two, when did Jordan ever score 8 points in the finals and get embarrassed and average 17 points? When did that ever happen? When did you ever see that? What I've noticed about these guys is that, and I'm going to keep putting it on y'all till y'all block this channel. I'm going to keep putting it on y'all until you stop complaining and get used to it. How is it possible that y'all are up here really trying to make this argument when LeBron has been beaten so many times in the finals? Help me understand. Okay, let me ask y'all this another question. What's your argument for LeBron being better than Kobe? Some dweeb try to pull up a stat. Well, let's look at their head-to-head matchups. LeBron won more head-to-head games. Okay, let's pull up Kawhi Leonard's and LeBron's head-to-head matchup. Kawhi Leonard won more games. So what's your point? Well, no. What I've noticed with these guys is Championships only don't matter when you're comparing LeBron to players that have more championships than him. Whenever you're comparing him to lesser players, all of a sudden championships matter. That's what they do. They just rearrange the goalpost with you. That's all they do. That's all that. There's not a single argument, in my personal view of things, based on the fact I've seen LeBron play for his entire career, based on the fact I saw Kobe play, who I believe is better than LeBron, based on the fact that I've done some research on LeBron and Michael Jordan. The distance between Jordan and LeBron is the distance between heaven and earth, man. I don't think it's close at all. There's nothing that makes me feel like it's close. There is absolutely nothing that makes me feel it is close. Nothing. Offensively, there's nothing to discuss. There's absolutely nothing to discuss. Defensively, there's nothing to discuss. Jordan is the best two-way player to ever play basketball. The hardest thing to be in the NBA, if you don't know, is a two-way player. He is the best ever. The best ever by a wide margin, by the way, in my personal view. Why? Some people say Kobe because Kobe made 12 all-defensive teams, 9 all-first. Jordan made 9 all-first, but he won the Defensive Player of the Year. The difference why I'm giving Michael Jordan the edge is because Jordan, although Kobe basically averaged about 30 points in a 10-year window if you just do it averages, and made all first NBA teams, the difference is Jordan actually had 10 scoring titles to go with those 9 all-first Defensive Player of the Year awards, first all NBA selection, defensive team selection, and there's nobody. There's nobody. When we talk about the clutch, there's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to discuss. To me, it is a clown show if you want to start to say that this thing is close. There is no argument. Not one. I dare somebody to list one good reason why LeBron should be on the level of. List one. What's the accomplishment that he did? They'll make you say, oh man, he's better than Jordan. List one. And then while you're at it, I'm going to list some important Jordan. And then we're going to start listing, which is something LeBron fans can never do, is when are we going to address the losing? This is when they go really quiet. When are we going to address the losing? When are we going to address it? When is that going to become a part of this? That's why some people are so frustrated by people trying to throw out the notion that LeBron should be. How can you be in the MVP conversation when your team is the number 13th ranked seed in the West? How is that possible? What other reason would there for us to be to put you in there unless we're not up here trying to just make things up? What's the reason? So if you guys feel like what I'm saying is a little bit too brazen for you, and I'm talking to LeBron fans because y'all are the ones mostly that be having an issue with what I say. If I got to listen to Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp talk about basketball and I got to tolerate it, you got to tolerate me. Or you can do what I do sometimes. Change the station. I'm not going to be sitting up there watching something that I hate and then complaining in the comment section. I just changed the station, but you guys can't. I'll see you guys in the comment section today, and I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Peace.